For the first episode, we're going to be taking a look at Justin Herbert. What made him so successful? What can he still improve on? Yes, I'm a Chargers fan, but I'm going to look at this from the least biased perspective as I possibly can.
I gave you fair warning, beware, beware.
Smack him in the mouth.
I gave you fair warning, beware, beware.
Smack him in the mouth.
I gave you fair warning, beware, beware.
Smack him in the mouth.
I gave you fair warning, beware, beware.
Smack him in the mouth.
What is up, Warzone Sports Army? I'm Mike, if you haven't met me already, and I'm just a former decent high school player turned fan, as a lot of us are. And if you're not, that is also completely fine. If you're a fan that isn't quite as in-depth in the game of football, this is an opportunity to learn. I'm not going to be going crazy here and using crazy lingo that no one's ever heard before. I'm simply going to break down why these guys are successful or unsuccessful out there on the football field from an eagle's eye point of view versus the television broadcast, which is going to be very different. You'll see the differences. Before we get into the film breakdown, please help me out real quick. It'll take you 2 seconds. Hit the subscribe button, little notification bell right next to it, and smash that like button. It helps us out a ton in the algorithm. I promise you, you will not regret it. All right, let's get into the breakdown of Justin Herbert. So we're going to be looking at the phenomenal game, and in my opinion, Justin Herbert's best game of his career thus far versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 4 of the NFL season. He stepped in and went toe-to-toe with Tom Brady, the GOAT, a guy he grew up idolizing, and he put on a show. I chose this game to take a look at and break down, not only because Justin Herbert had 137 passer rating in this game, but also he made some mistakes. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense really gave the Buccaneers an opportunity to come back in this game with how they were able to confuse Herbert later on in the game. So all of his weaknesses and strengths were displayed throughout the duration of this football game. It's the perfect one to really sit down and take a little bit more of an in-depth look at, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So I want to start off with the good. You obviously want to start off with the good first and the bad second, but we're going to talk about what exactly made Herbert's rookie season so special and why he was so phenomenal in this game specifically, and how all of these things were displayed throughout the entire NFL season. And then after that, we'll get into the bad side of things. We'll show you exactly what he struggles with and how I personally think he needs to improve going into the 2021 NFL season, his sophomore year. So right here before the snap even takes place, you can see all of these DBs, the 2 safeties and the 2 corners, are playing off with the corners playing a little bit of an outside shade here. In the pre-snap, Herbert's looking at this and seeing this is a cover 4. The middle of the field is kind of where you'd want to attack if you were going to attack. He gets through his play action, squares up, and right here he recognizes that his wide receiver, Tyron Johnson, has absolutely toasted both safeties. The safeties are caught flat-footed here. This normally would be covered up if these 2 guys didn't get absolutely toasted by Tyron Johnson. When you see this guy flip his hips open and try and run with his back facing the wide receiver, it's all over. Herbert has an understanding of that. He knows that Tyron just needs a few more steps to get separation, because from his angle, this might look like it's covered, but he knows that Tyron is going to go over the top of these 2 guys based off of the way that he's running full speed and they are barely turning their hips right as he's even with them. It's kind of a general rule of thumb. If the wide receiver is even with the defensive back and the defensive back is just getting into his turn, that wide receiver is probably leaving him in the dust. And sure enough, Herbert, with pressure in his face, delivers a dot 65 yards down the field to Tyron Johnson. From this angle, keep an eye on Herbert. Look at the pressure that he faces right before he throws this ball. Oh my goodness. That right there is a throw that only a few quarterbacks in this league even have the ability to make. Getting hit by 2 defensive linemen, falling away off your back foot, and drop it in a basket 65 yards down the field. Absolutely impressive. Amazing read by Herbert, but even a more impressive throw. Also, this was done on 3rd down, which you're going to start to see as a theme. This series of plays right here is what really excites me about Herbert's potential. The reason guys like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning in his heyday have been so successful in this league for such a long period of time is their ability to take favorable risks when the game calls for it. And now when I say a favorable risk, I mean, yes, every single ball that's just thrown up in the air is technically a 50-50 ball. But if you're in a favorable matchup, offensively, you can turn it into a 75-25% chance that you're going to find success or at least see the pass go incomplete. Herbert excelled at this skill as a rookie and is what excites me most, like I said, because that's going to help him out as far as his longevity in this league. So right here on this play, it's 3rd and 11. You need to get a first down. You got a good drive going. You're in no man's land. You're kind of out of field goal range, but you're too close to punt. Guyton motions in closer to the line of scrimmage. Herbert flicks it out to Josh Kelley, and Josh Kelley gets the first down with ease. A lot of young QBs in the league make the mistake of trying to throw it downfield to Guyton, which is a very unfavorable risk in double coverage, versus hitting the check down, even though it's 3rd and long, and trusting your running back to go and get the first down, especially when he has that much space. This is a little bit of an easier read for Herbert. But throughout the season, you see him do this often versus taking that deep heave down the field. And he has the ability to get it down the field. And this play is just a couple plays later, and it is exactly what I'm talking about when I say favorable risk. Right away off the pre-snap, Justin Herbert can probably tell that this is man coverage with a cover 1 over the top of the field. You can see Levante David here is shifted outside a little bit to guard the tight end. And when you look over to the right side of the formation, you're going to see the DB stacked over the stacked receivers. And then also a big telltale sign is that this DB out here covering Donald Parham, who is actually a tight end himself, is lined up inside of Parham and has his eyes on Parham versus on the quarterback. So right away, Herbert is thinking, okay, my 6'6", 250-pound tight end is matched up against a much smaller DB. So wow, if Herbert throws this ball up, is it a 50-50 ball? Can the DB make a play on the ball? Yes, but to me, in this situation, I'm assessing this as 80-20 in Parham's favor, and I think it is very unlikely that the DB has an opportunity to intercept this ball unless Herbert just completely messes up the throw, but he has the confidence to make the throw, and look exactly what happens on this play. This is later on in the drive after that check down. Bang. Parham, perfect throw, back shoulder fade, just goes right over the defensive back and basically bullies him. Here it is from a different angle, right on the money. Footwork was one of the biggest knocks against Herbert, especially footwork within the pocket and footwork during play action, just because he was in a shotgun his entire life. He's used to already being 3 to 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes even 7 before the ball is even snapped. So how good he was under center and how good he was at selling the play action really impressed me this year. And his footwork overall, you can tell he put a ton of work in this offseason. And Coach Pep Hamilton, the QB coach for the Chargers last year, kind of known around the league as becoming a up-and-coming QB guru in the NFL, did a great job in fixing Herbert's footwork in just one rookie half offseason due to the COVID problems that we were dealing with back then as a globe, really. You're going to see Herbert take the snap, get his shoulders around very quickly to sell the play action, then fall into what would look like he's going to throw the ball down the field position or stance, flips the hips, and hits Hunter Henry on the screen, the opposite way of the play action, the opposite way that he's facing before he flips his hips. It's a very, 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 very simple play in the NFL, and most NFL quarterbacks should be able to make it, but it more displays how improved he is as far as his footwork goes in this play. He has to accomplish 3 or 4 steps here, and he has to move his hips and shoulders 3 or 4 different directions. I'm going to let you guys watch it. Bam, you see him flip the hips open and get the ball on target to Hunter Henry there. And Hunter Henry goes up the sideline. Like I said, this is pretty simple for an NFL quarterback, but it's just something that was a huge knock with him. And it's why a lot of people, when we got into this, thought he was going to completely fail. Bravo to Pep Hamilton, man. I'm so sad we lost him. He's an offensive coordinator somewhere now, I'm pretty sure. Passing game coordinator for the Houston Texans. All right, this throw that you're about to witness is absolutely ridiculous. And it's one of the best throws that I've seen by a quarterback the entire 2020 season. And honestly, this is one of the better throws that I've seen by a quarterback watching football. Watch Keenan Allen's route running at the top of the screen. Just standing there by the sideline. And that is the definition of a mailbox throw. This ball is put in a spot. I'm going to clip in a different angle if I can find it on YouTube to show you guys just how unbelievable this throw actually was. And it was a great catch by Keenan, too. Do not get me wrong. It was just as good a catch by Keenan as it was a throw by Herbert. Man, I could watch it 20 times and still be amazed. If you're a Chargers fan, you know exactly what's about to happen next. This is kind of an iconic play for our NFL season. And it's another absolute gem of a play by Justin Herbert. So right here off the pre-snap, you see they get Keenan Allen in motion. This is something that Phillip Rivers loves to do. He'll get his receivers on the move. So it can help in reading the defense and figuring out what coverage they're in. When you motion the wide receiver and the defensive back follows him across the field the way Carlton Davis follows Keenan, that is a telltale sign that you are in man coverage. So now that Herbert knows that he's in man coverage, his eyes are going to shift toward the safety. And the safety is actually going to be his read here in whether he's going to check this down or he's going to sling this thing down the field for a, what is it going to be, 70-yard touchdown pass. So watch what Winfield does here. If Winfield takes a step towards the quarterback, Herbert knows that his speedy receiver has a mismatch opportunity, and if he can get the ball off and deliver a clean ball to him, this has a chance to be a big play. Watch the safety take the step, and then watch Herbert immediately capitalize on the opportunity and what he is reading when he looks at the defense off the snap of the ball. Very impressive stuff here. Way higher level than rookie QB. As sensational and record-breaking Justin Herbert's rookie year was, he, as do all rookies, has some things that he needs to improve on going forward if he wants to be a successful quarterback in the NFL for years to come. So we're going to get into that here now. We're going to talk about some of the examples of where he struggles and in what situations does he struggle in, and how I expect defenses to attack him next season. Fast forward here, this is something just a little bit more minor, and this also comes with the experience. You cannot take hits like this. And yes, a flag was thrown on this play. In my personal opinion, a flag shouldn't have been thrown on this play because Herbert asked for this shot. Instead of when he gets to the sideline directly going out of bounds, he hesitates right here and acts as almost if he's going to cut upfield. And that's what leads the DB to hit him. Watch. Bang. Right there. He's still on the field of play when he gets hit. You just got to get out of bounds right there, Justin. You can't take those kind of hits in the NFL. You're going to get hurt. That's just the nature of the game. It's a very violent sport still. From this angle, you can really see that step that he kind of takes as if he's going to cut upfield, which leads the DB to smacking him instead of Herbert just harmlessly stepping out of bounds. And he was guilty of this in other games too. So this is something that was a problem throughout the year. Here we go. Another situation where his inexperience is showing. There was 17 seconds on the play clock when he snaps this ball. They basically lined up, did the motion, snapped the ball. If you give it more time, you can avoid what happens on this play. Just give it more time. Give the defense time to show you what they are doing. Instead, he snaps the ball, doesn't see the blitz coming at all, and doesn't know what to do with it when the blitz comes. It's going to be a defensive back that actually sacks him coming off the edge. I believe that is Whitehead. Scan the field, count the bodies on the other side of the ball, and know where the blitz is coming from. He timed it up on the snap very well as well, the DB did. But I guarantee you, if Herbert hard counts it, he would have started creeping in. And Herbert could have been more prepared for when this guy came at him and gotten this ball into the dirt or to his hot route receiver. Again, it's just an experience thing. And seeing this kind of stuff happen over and over again within the same game is what kind of concerns me of a sophomore slump actually happening. That's me knocking on wood, so hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully he fixes these things during the offseason. And defensive-minded coaches like Bill Belichick and Brian Flores did this to Herbert all game when they saw him and shut him down. So that's just something that Herbert needs to get better at, letting the play clock run down. Go ahead, analyze the defense fully before you snap the ball, as well as just make a better decision when things break down. And Herbert's going to see these disguises because I know NFL defensive coordinators are recognizing this as well. If I'm recognizing it, I'm just a former decent high school player. He's going to see a ton of these disguised blitzes in 2021, 2022, and 2023, and going forward if he continues to struggle with it. But really, it's just a matter of reps. He just needs to practice and be quicker with his reads. That's all it is. But right here on this play, this looks like a simple cover 3. You got the DBs playing off, like I said. They're facing the quarterback, and you got the one safety over the top. So that's what Justin Herbert's reading at the pre-snap. And then again, in this scenario, there were 9 seconds on the play clock still remaining. You could have done a hard count. You could have just taken some more time, and you would have seen this DB start to creep in at you, signifying that he is going to be blitzing, which means you know where your hot route receiver is. Let's get the ball to the hot route receiver. And also, when Herbert does realize there is a man coming untouched at him, he does not go at his hot route. He tries to throw where the blitz came from to Keenan Allen, when his hot route would have been Guyton up the sideline. So he just makes the wrong decision in a panic again. And this is something that you'll see from all rookie quarterbacks. It's all about reps. But this is what he needs to fix. This is really what he needs to focus on. This ball and this play should have been a turnover. 100% should have been turned over. This should have been going the other way, and this might have been a pick 6 if he's really unlucky. But definitely should have been a pick. And Herbert won't get lucky like that forever. So he's got to fix these kind of little panicky errors that he seems to make when he gets caught off guard. And then Herbert makes a rookie mistake here on the last play of the game, which kind of seals it. The scenario is the Chargers are down by 3. There's over 2.5 minutes left on the clock still, and they have 3 timeouts. So there should not be a rush. There is a sense of urgency to get down the field, but again, you're only down by 3, and you got plenty of time to do it with your timeouts. To me, I'm not rushing it here. I'm running my normal offense. Once we get inside 2 minutes, we'll see where we're at, and we'll run the 2-minute drill. The play call here is absolutely pitiful. Atrocious, actually. The Chargers play call, here, you're going to see the receivers both come down the field. You're not going to see anyone stick around and be a check down option for Herbert. So basically, Herbert has 3 options. Throw it to his 1 receiver, throw it to his 2 receiver, or run. You want to give your rookie quarterback a situation where he has the best chances to succeed, and this scenario is not his best opportunity to succeed, especially when he's been on fire to this point. He's got 3 touchdowns, he's got 300 yards passing, he's got a lot of confidence to sling that ball down the field. As a head coach, you got to slow things down and really control the tempo here and realize how much time you have left. You do not need to take a deep shot here. So why is a deep shot the play call, especially a deep shot with no check down option? That part astounds me, and that part doesn't make any sense, and that is why the entire Chargers coaching staff was fired this offseason. But we'll watch the play here. It is going to be intercepted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Herbert just makes the wrong decision. He should have tucked this down and tried to just salvage this, because the targeted receiver here on this play was nowhere near open. He had a guy underneath, and he had a guy over the top. On top of that all, Herbert sailed the pass, and it was an easy interception for the Buccaneers to close this game out. Again, for Herbert, really only knock that I can give him is you just got to hang on to that ball and realize that you lost that play and move on to the next one. The game is on the line. But I really blame the play calling for this more than anything. You're not setting up your rookie quarterback for success here. Guys like Tom Brady, guys like Matthew Stafford, guys like Patrick Mahomes, they aren't making this mistake. They're probably audibling out of that play call in most cases, honestly. So that's going to do it for our Justin Herbert breakdown. I hope it is not too lengthy, and I hope it's not too wordy. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the first edition of Mike's Film Room, and if we should keep this series going throughout the NFL offseason and even into the season. I'm thinking about highlighting a very good performance every single week. Also, drop down in the comment section and let me know if there are any specific players you want to see featured in this series. So for Justin Herbert overall, he just has the normal rookie tendencies. Panics when he's caught off guard. Doesn't always make the right decision under pressure. But when you talk about the football IQ level and the talent level of this guy, it really is just a matter of reps, in my opinion. And if he can get that experience and he can continue to improve each year, by year 3 or 4, this guy is going to be one of the NFL's best. And by year 6, 7, and into his prime, he has the potential to be one of the NFL's best ever. We put a ton of work into the Warzone Sports Network. We put a ton of work into this channel. Please, please, please consider taking the 2 seconds that it takes to smash the like button, tap subscription button if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell if you haven't already, so that way you don't miss anything. We drop 6 weekly shows here on the Warzone Sports Network and 3+ live streams every single week. There is sports going on every day pretty much here in the Warzone. Also, we have recently partnered with Prize Picks. That is right, Prize Picks is sponsoring the Warzone Sports Network, so they have given us a promo code that you can use to your advantage to scheme the system. Anyways, if you type in code Warzone when you're making your deposit on Prize Picks, they're going to match your deposit up to $100. So if you put in $25, you're going to have $50 to play with. The $25 you put in and the $25 that Prize Picks is going to match you. I put in $20 and I have not lost yet. Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible to lose. You can lose. Not everyone's as good as me. So once again, go to prizepicks.com or download the Prize Picks app. Use code Warzone when making your deposit, and Prize Picks is going to match it up to $100. I think that's all the cheap plugs for this week's episode, the first episode of Mike's Film Room. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. This series is going to be a ton of fun if we make it fun. So let's do it. Hop in that comment section and let me know which player you want to see a little bit of a breakdown next. It doesn't have to be a quarterback. It could be any player across the board. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Mike, and I'm just a former decent high school football player turned fan. I'll see you next week.
I gave you fair warning, beware.
Smack him in the mouth.
I gave you fair warning, beware.
Smack him in the mouth.
I gave you fair warning, beware.
Smack him in the mouth.
I gave you